Again, my dear students, welcome back to another lesson full of learnings and fun. Better relax, watch and enjoy while learning. This is your teacher for today, Ms. Sheila A. Guevara. Last meeting, we discussed about light. We learned that light undergone a phenomena called dispersion, in which white light is split into constituent colors, which is called the spectrum of light. These colors are called Roy G. Biv or Richard of York Biv Battle in Vain. This color has its own characteristics in terms of frequency and wavelength. We also learned in light, frequency is directly proportional with its wavelength, meaning as frequency increases, its wavelength decreases or becomes shorter. During the dispersion of light, red travels the fastest with longest wavelength but lowest frequency. On the other hand, violet travels the slowest and bends the most, having the highest frequency. For this day, we are going to discuss another form of energy, which is heat.
At the end of the lesson, the students are expected to infer the condition of necessary for heat transfer to occur. Describe heat transfer by conduction, convection, and radiation. Give situation which show how heat is being transferred by conduction, convection, and radiation. Arrange the following jumble words to identify what is asked on the given statement. 1. It is the transfer of thermal energy from a body with a higher temperature to a body with lower temperature. It is heat. 2. Type of energy stored in an object or system that depends on the motion of particles or atoms. It is thermal energy. It measures the amount of thermal energy or degree of hotness and coldness of an object or system. The answer is temperature. The transfer of heat to different medium or forms of matter. It is heat transfer. Alice decided to take a vacation on one of the prestigious beaches in the Philippines. Upon arrival, she just changed her clothes into a swimsuit and quickly ran to the beach. After putting sunblock lotion, she sat on a board and ready for sunbath. Oh, I can feel the heat of the sun on my skin. At lunch, she cooks barbecue. Wow, it really smells good. At night, she takes a night walk on the seashores. I really love the cool air that touches my skin during the night. She go back to her suit and dress. What a wonderful day.
Have you enjoyed the story? What makes Alice feel hot during her sunbath? Very good! Heat coming from the sun makes Alice feel hot during sunbath. I want you to remember, my dear students, that exposing too much to heat of the sun can have a great damage in your skin. How does Alice cooks her barbecue during lunchtime? Nice answer! answer. Alice used grill pan and charcoal in cooking her barbecue. What is the reason why Alice feels the cold air at night in the seashore? Good! Because of the cold temperature that makes the air cold. Let us use the group of words that we have identified earlier to explain the story of Alice. All matter possess thermal energy. The degree of hotness and coldness of matter is called its temperature. In this story, during the nighttime it is cold, and in the daytime it is hot. Heat can be transferred through heat transfer. Alice feels hot because the heat coming from the sun transferred to her skin. Barbecue was cooked because of the heat coming from the charcoal transferred to the grill pan. Then the heat on the grill pan was transferred to the barbecue meat. At night, it is cold in the seashore because warm air is less dense than cold air. That is why it goes up. This happened because of heat transfer. What is heat transfer? Let us watch this.
You put the pot on top of the stove. Now the pot becomes hot, and as the time goes by, the water began boiling. The stove produces fire, and the energy formed in the fire was then transferred to the pot. That's why the pot becomes hot, and also because of that energy transfer, the water starts to boil. That process is called the heat transfer.
There are three forms of heat transfer: conduction, convection, and radiation. To fully understand these three forms of heat transfer, let us watch this video.
What are conduction, convection, and radiation? Let's discuss first the conduction. Conduction is the process in which the transfer of heat takes place between objects by direct contact. The key of conduction is direct contact. The convection. Convection is the transfer of heat by the movement of fluid. Hot beverages or hot coffee, to be specific, is another example of convection. You know why? It is because the steam coming out of hot coffee in the form of warm air rises because of the heat of the fluid. Radiation is a transfer of energy from its origin to the surroundings. The most common example of heat transfer by radiation can be felt every day. It is the sunlight. Like the alligators and the lizards, they use the radiation from the sun to warm their bodies. There are also radiations that are difficult to feel compared to the sun because of the lower differences in the temperature between the source and the object.
Based on the video, let us answer the following question. What is conduction? Very good! Conduction is heat transfer that needs direct contact. What state of matter do you think conduction is suitable? Nice! It is on solid. Define convection. Convection happens on fluids or gases wherein hot air rises and cold air goes down. If conduction is suitable for solid, how about convection? Correct! It is on liquid and gas. What is radiation? Radiation travels through empty space. It doesn't need any medium in order to propagate or to be transferred. Let us take a closer look on Alice's story. I have here three situations that can be found on the story. Tell whether if the situation is conduction, convection, or radiation. 1. Alice feel the heat coming from the sun. It is nice, radiation. 2. Cooking barbecue. It is conduction. And last one, cold air in the seashore. Very good, it is convection.
Learning Task 1. Analysis. Observe each picture or image and classify the type of heat transfer that happens in each example. Write conduction, convection, or radiation. Number 1. You feel the heat from the flame without touching it. So what will be the answer? The answer is radiation. Very good. 2. You prepared a cup of tea and the cup feels warm when touched. The answer is conduction. Number 3. A raw egg begins to fry as it hits the pan. The answer is conduction. 4. The warmth from the sun can make the sand and water hot. The answer is radiation. 5. The food gets warm when placed in the microwave oven. The answer is conduction. 6. The clothes become flat and warm when we iron it. Answer is conduction. 7. Aircon is placed on high places because warm air rises and cool air sinks. So the answer is convection. Activity 1 or performance task number 1, entitled Heat Transfer. This illustration depicts several situations that involve heat transfer. Your task is to identify examples or situations found in the illustration that involve the different methods of heat transfer. Note that in your chosen situation, there could be more than one heat transfer taking place at the same time. Make your choices more specific by filling up table 1. For your first activity or activity 1 and your performance task number 3, entitled Heat Transfer. So this is the table 1 example of heat transfer. So you're going to complete this table. We have here 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 columns. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows. Okay? For the first column, this is the number of the situation. So we have here 5 situations. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Second column, the description or the situation. Then, third column, which object gives off heat. Next, which object receives heat. And next, what is the method of heat transfer? So let us take an example. Okay, I have here the first description or the first situation. The soil and plants outside the house becomes warmer. Which object gives off heat? The sun. And which object receives heat? Soil and plants. What is the method of heat transfer? We have 3 methods of heat transfer: radiation, convection, and conduction. So here, the method used of heat transfer is radiation. Complete the statement by identifying the appropriate word for each blank. At this point, you have learned that heat is the blank of blank energy that is possessed by an object due to the motion of its particles. When this happens, an object blank changes from cool to warmer. There are 3 ways of heat transfer. A, where heat is transferred between materials that are in direct contact with each other, while B occurs when heat is transferred by electromagnetic waves through space, and lastly, C is the transfer of heat in fluids, which makes the hot fluids to rise and cold fluids to sink. I'll be giving you 2 minutes to answer. Alright, let us answer and check if your answer is correct. So let us answer this one. At this point, you have learned that heat is the very good transfer of thermal or heat energy that is possessed by an object due to the motion of its particle. When this happens, an object Temperature changes from cool to warmer. These are the three ways of heat transfer. A. Conduction, where heat is transferred between materials that are direct contact with each other. While B, which is radiation, occurs when heat is transferred by electromagnetic waves through space. And lastly, convection is transfer of heat fluids, which makes the hot fluids to rise and cold fluids to sit. Very good. Nice work. Okay. For your evaluation, answer the following questions. Write your answer on your paper. For items 1 to 3, refer to the illustration and situation below. So this is the illustration. So the situation is, a lady is making a noodle soup using a pan made of metal. Question number 1. How does heat travel through the soup? A. By radiation. B. By dispersion. C. By convection. And D. By conduction. Next, number 2. In what direction does heat travel through the soup? A. From top to bottom. B. Both A and B. C. From bottom to top. And D. Neither A and B. Next, number 3. How does heat travel through the pan? A. By radiation. B. By dispersion. C. By convection. And D. By conduction. Next, number 4. What method of heat transfer occurs when two objects of different temperature are in contact? A. Conduction. B. Convection. C. Radiation. And D. Absorption. Last, number 5. During a house fire, the smoke and flames rise up, but the air down near the floor is cooler and less smoky. This is an example of A. Radiation. B. Dispersion. C. Convection. And D. Conduction. Okay, let us check your answer. Number 1, C. 2, C. 3, D. 4, A. And 5, C. Very good. You got the correct answer. For your reflection, write an explanation regarding this quotation by Ronald Reagan. When you can't make them see the light, make them feel the heat. Again, make a reflection or explanation on this quotation made by Ronald Reagan. When you can make them see the light, make them feel the heat. Thank you for listening.